All right, what's going on, guys? So tonight we are playing something that I feel like will probably end up being terrible, if I'm being honest. But I'm playing Grixis Delver in Pioneer. Grixis Delver used to be really good in Modern when what I can't remember what it's called right now. When Gataxian Probe was in Modern. But it was like really popular and played a lot. And I'm pretty excited that we have that option to play it in Pioneer now. Oh, excuse me. I think Consider's a really good card, and I think the addition of Sedgemoor Witch, since just over the years of cards being added, is really good. Play with Fire is really solid. We don't have a Lightning Bolt in this format, but if we go upstairs with Play with Fire, we get to scry one, so I'm pretty excited about that. And honestly, this is just a list that I just put together. I there's nothing I really pulled from this. I just kind of playing what I think is good. Sideboard is a mix of removal, counter spells, and grind. Some graveyard hate. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump in here and just kind of see what happens. Not a modern league, a pioneer league. I wish they made like how they have the Demir deck box that you can pick from. I wish they made like a Grixis colored deck box and like a Jeskai colored deck box and all that kind of stuff. I think it would be pretty cool. But it's one of those things we have to live without, unfortunately. One of my good friends is up for a pretty good promotion at her job, so that's pretty exciting. She was telling me about that. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long to find a league. The one thing that I wonder if it's going to be good enough is Treasure Cruise. And don't misunderstand, Treasure Cruise is the house. Like, card's insane, but I wonder if playing three is too many and maybe we should be on like two. But I think there is a lot of I don't know. It just feels like there's a lot of cards. Like there's a lot of things to be played, things to do. So, and only 20 lands. Maybe that's a little greedy. Maybe we should be on like 21 or 22. But probably possible that we cut a treasure cruise and play a 21st land. But we'll see what happens. I'm really excited to see how Sedgemoor Witch plays into plays into this deck. One of the things I think we'll have a hard time beating with this deck will be blue-white control. So, wow. Talk about timing. Hi, good luck. This hand seems really good. We'll keep this. We have Thoughtseize into Anticipate into Pyromancer and Fatal Push, plus whatever else we draw, so this feels pretty solid to me. That's quite a bit of damage we have to take here at the beginning of the game, but I think Treasure Cruise is the card that gives us the most problems here, so we're going to take that. And I have the option, I basically always try to take Treasure Cruise. Our opponent's either lagging or doesn't know what F6 does. Man. Come on, opponent. Thank you. We're going to play Sulphur Falls tapped here. Or not tapped. We're just going to play Sulphur Falls. We're just going to hold up, anticipate here. Puts one card on the bottom, okay. They discard an Jeskai Phoenix. Yeah, put Delver into our hand. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. So this allows us to look at their hand again. Always yield to this. So I think we're just going to take Treasure Cruise again here. Like, all of their hand lets them see more cards, which is not great for us, but I think we just want to keep them off of Treasure Cruise. I think that's the best thing we can be doing here. I mean, because they could have possibly went, like, Consider into Cruise into something else that turn, so... Serve up 3. They put anything in the yard. Arclight Phoenix and then draw a card? Man, that's pretty good. We are representing counter magic pretty well. I mean, they have to be aware that we might have Drown in the Lock here. Or honestly, any counter spell. Drown in the Lock would be awesome right here. Okay. So I'm actually just going to go to my turn in case they have Spell Pierce. It's not likely, but... Delver of Secrets? No. So... Okay. Like, sure. Kill that. Draw this, play this. We have, like, not a phenomenal amount of pressure on the field, but a decent amount of pressure, and I don't really want to, like, play our only card into, like, an anger or something here. Okay. Discard Steam Vents. The last card we know about is Fabled Passage here. Just Spikefield Hazard. I didn't realize they were running Magma Spray in the main. That's really interesting. Just Treasure Cruise? Man, we stole 2 Treasure Cruises and you still found a third in the top 25 cards? Yeah, I mean, if we don't have an answer here, we're just dead, so... Well, there are no creatures to eat. What is it? Exile 5 other cards? So I can't even do it? Okay. Well, 2 more lands and we did spells there, which is okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. Alright, we have a lot of cards that we might want here. It's sad that I feel like all of these cards are good. There's no way we're bringing them all in, though. We can cut a cruise. We want Dive Down. Probably want Cling to Dust. Alright, there's no way we can bring all of this in, right? Like, this is just way too much stuff. Like, I mean, we could literally bring in all 15 cards. Like, we have to decide what's important. I think Mystical Dispute is really good. Cards that are really good. Man, like, what's my problem here? Like, Negate is awesome. That means we need to cut 3 more cards here. I know Thoughtseize can be really good in this matchup, but we're not really picking their hand apart, so I think we'll just try it like this and see what happens. Yep, this is good. Drown in the Lock is really good. Like in this matchup. Like, we'll need to draw red at some point, but there's quite a few red producing lands in the deck, so I'm not super worried about it. Okay. We're just going to hold up Consider here and say go. Into your graveyard? No, I think we want to draw that one. We're just going to say go here, having Mystical Dispute and Drown in the Lock if we need it, so... Puts one card on the bottom. They put that card into the bin. Okay, so that's 2 cards they didn't want, but still 2 new cards coming their way. I think it might be worth drawing a card here. Okay, this is pretty good too. Alright. Yes, because we need to find a red land. Okay, that's good. Alright, let's go for it and see what happens here. We do have Mystical Dispute at the ready if we need it. And Drown in the Lock, so... If he happens to slam a Crackling Drake or something here, we do have access to... Another red land gives us Chandra. We can also just kill this with Drown in the Lock if we need to. Red land? That's pretty solid. Alright, kill this. Get in for 3, say go. And then next turn, we have Sedgemoor Witch plus Drown in the Lock, which feels pretty solid here. I was like, yeah, I imagine he's going to kill our Chandra here. Dive Down's a pretty good draw here, too. Okay. Don't really see a reason to counter this yet. Maybe we can just keep enough tokens going here to like push us through the rest of the game. That was a mistake. I should have waited to see if he pays 3 life. Would have definitely got, because I think he would have paid the 3 life there. So yeah, that was definitely a mistake. He takes 4, goes to 8. Yeah, I'm just going to attack for 3 because he can't block it. Like, there's no difference. The only difference is we lose our Pyromancer. If I had waited, you can't do that. It's an illegal block, buddy. If I had waited to see if he paid the 3 life, if he would have paid the 3 life and went to 9, I would have attacked with everything to put him to 5, because then we would have had like super lethal on board. So expressive iteration's a pretty good one. Our only burn spell was okay. Our only burn spell on the deck was play with fire, and we cut it. So what is it? You have to pay 4 to escape it. Yep. Now he still has to cast another spell here, which he did not. He did not have a 1 mana spell. Interesting. I think we can just get in the red zone here. Make more tokens to fuel the board here. Now, I mean, he just needs 3 spells out of his 5 cards, so I mean, it's very possible that he just gets there. Now, if he does flip Thing in the Ice, so if he does flip Thing in the Ice, we have double Sedgemoor Witch to slam next turn. Okay. Huh. Well, that's a tough scene. Well, we just couldn't get there. That's unfortunate. I think drawing our 6th land, as opposed to drawing like another counterspell of some variety, kind of cost us that game. Or maybe I made a play mistake. I don't know. That's always the problem that you have about playing against Izzet Phoenix, is that like if you're trying to play this longer, grindier game, like they are just going to out card advantage you, because like almost literally every card in their deck says draw cards or deal damage to something. So I mean, so if we would have waited on the ward, we would have won that game, and we got to play game 3. So technically, I did make a mistake that potentially cost us the game there. If I would have waited and they'd have paid 3 life, they would have been at 3 less, and I would have won that game. We'd have got to play game 3. So it's a little unfortunate, but I mean, I think this is a good hand. We're missing red, but we're on the draw here. Opponent's on 6 cards. Izzet Phoenix again? Play Drowned Catacomb, say go. Torrential Gearhulk. Hey, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Growth Spiral. So it's not Izzet Phoenix. So we're going to say go here. Okay. So it's definitely Niv. Let's draw a card here. Drawing a Blood Crypt. That's pretty good. So if they have Bring to Light here, it is worth it to hold up Izzet Charm, which I think it is. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. They could just slam an Omnath here and just kind of like make us cry, but I don't see us beating Bring to Light for Niv, so I think we're just going to have to play around it here. And the best part is that they probably think they're just playing around Dissolve or something like that Dissolve effect. Alright, well, they only have 2 cards in hand, so I mean... Alright, we're going to take the more aggressive line and get both of our Pyromancers out there and just try to start, like, beating them down, because we're not going to win the game just sitting here. So... 4, 5... Unfortunately, if they have another bomb here, we're just kind of toast. There's not much we can do about it. Hard cast Tibalt. That's a tough scene. We were kind of hoping to draw something good there. So we can't even cast the Treasure Cruise. Unfortunately, he's going to get more cards out of this Tibalt. And he at least hit a land off his. Like, it would have been nice just to have drawn, like, an Anticipate or something there, but I don't know. That's tough. That's probably going to be the game. He can cast our Play with Fire. Well, Thought sees us first. Okay. Yep, takes our Treasure Cruise. Seems like a good play. Yep. And he can cast his Growth Spiral if he wants to. Okay, he plays his Sun Petal Grove. Nahiri's pretty good. There's not much of a chance here, but... Drawn to a Watery Grave. It's not looking good, Chief. Something tells me our 1/1 token's not going to go the distance here. Yeah, I'm gonna pull a concession there. That's pretty tough. We're drawing a lot of lands tonight. So let's see. 3, 6, 7. Yeah, so I've cut I've cut 8 treasure cruise back-to-back games, so I think that's definitely telling me that I don't want that many. No, I can't. I think we'll go 1 and 1. I don't know. We're gonna see what happens here. I don't know that there's really a right in or right out. I don't know. Oh, I've got the thing hidden. I wasn't even thinking about that. We are 0 and 1. All right. Man, this hand is pretty solid. We're gonna keep it. Now, the good news is that they don't generally have removal on turn 1, so we can flip our Delver here. We're more than likely getting in for at least a hit, but maybe they have Fatal Push on the side. I don't know. What's it gonna be? Chandra. Of course it's gonna be Chandra. So I am gonna consider, because I don't want that card. Yes, put that into my graveyard. Draw Sedgemoor Witch. That's a lot better. Play that tapped. Then we can serve up 1. Didn't really want to consider right there. I was really hoping we'd just like peel like a Drown in the Lock or something like that. Would have been really good. Hey, sorry man, I don't have the deck set up for that. I'll show the deck after this game. What are we looking for? Something good. Anticipate. Sure, let's reveal that. Yeah, I'm gonna again get a little aggressive. Could be horribly wrong, but I have a lot of blue cards in our hand and not a lot of blue. If we draw a land here, we can just slam Chandra. Attack for 3. We're going to anticipate because we want to hit a land drop here. I mean, don't get me wrong, we would have loved to have had any of those cards right there, but maybe we should be playing the one that lets us look at the top 3 cards and put the rest into our graveyard, as opposed to anticipate. Maybe anticipate's just a little bit of an outdated card in this situation. Yes. Okay. So we're definitely going to play Thoughtseize here. I think we're just taking Scarab God here. Like, because that card can get out of hand quick. So let's see. We put them to 7. They slam Scarab God. We put them to 4. Chandra puts them to 2. And then we're trying to find a way to finish him off. Yeah, I think we got to take Scarab God here. 6, so I can play it for 2. See what Treasure Cruise has in store for us. All of those are really good. Those are really good draws there. Kind of makes me wish we hadn't taken the Scarab God there, but there's not much we can do about it. We do get to dive down the same from Nahiri here, which is pretty solid. Take Shadow's Verdict. So they're left with Mana Confluence, Sulphur Falls. We get to Dreadbore the Nahiri. Put them to 4 and hold up Mystical Dispute here. The new Delver art is so ugly. Yes, I completely agree. I do not like the new Delver art, honestly, at all. Cycle? Okay. I don't think there's a reason in tapping out. Let's just make them sweat it a little bit. We're going to attack and see what they do, and then we're just going to slam Chandra and win the game if they don't. I mean, I guess they could have a counterspell, but it feels very unlikely to this point. Opponent gets super punished for not verdicting the Delver. Yeah, absolutely. Like they should have just slammed the Delver. Like some part of me understands why they went for the play that they did, but they most definitely should have just like killed the Delver. So this is a sideboarder list. After this game's over, after this match is over, I'll show the list with sideboard appropriately and everything. I still think dive down's really good. Man, I don't know. Dive down could just be kind of like medium. Gives us more instant speed interaction. Well, not interaction, but gives us more ways to play at instant speed. Yeah, I think this is the way to do it. Yeah, this feels good to me. Yeah, I think this hand's really good. So the question is, do we want to lead on Thoughtseize to try and snipe their 2-drop? I can't remember what it's called, or do we just want to play Delver? And I think the answer is we just want to play Delver. I think we want to try and push pressure as fast as possible. So we lead on Delver. Next turn we get to Thoughtseize and then potentially play Delver number 2. Would have liked to have sniped that thing, but... Alright. See what they're working with here. I think we're just taking the Valky here. And just playing around their removal spells. I don't know. Could be wrong. Okay. I mean, they're playing around counter spells here, so I kind of respect what he's going for. Play some Petal Grove. Let's see what we get here. Well, we're not going to reveal that, which is pretty unfortunate, but see, this has been the problem. We've been flooding. So I honestly don't feel like we can just slam our Sedgemoor Witch here into an Abrupt Decay. I feel like it will be a better long game threat than Delver will. But the problem is that we have to flip the friggin' thing because they don't have to respect it until we do. So they have Abrupt Decay Unknown in their hand, and it feels like they would have just went for Bring to Light right there if they had it. Please let me flip this thing. Alright, come on, deck. We have to draw a spell. Okay. We are at least representing Dive Down here, making them respect the fact that we could have something if he did decide to go for the Abrupt Decay. Vanishing Verse, okay. Yep, that's pretty good. He didn't play a land, so Blood Crypt. So we've seen 3 spells and 12 cards. Well, we're going to continue to say go here. Hey, what's up, Kyle? What's going on, man? And yeah, this is brutal. I'm not going to lie. This is pretty rough here. I guess the only thing that's happening is that we are at least in some way representing counter magic, maybe that we've had since the beginning of the game. Yep. And we have no way of pressuring this thing, so he discards Abrupt Decay. His hand must be pretty solid if he... that last card in his hand must be scary good if he discarded Abrupt Decay right there. Has another removal spell. I mean, the only good thing that comes from him killing it... Oh, we had another Abrupt Decay. So we have 3, 6, 7, 8. Alright, well, we drew a couple threats at least. I mean... Like, we really need to draw Dreadbore, I think, is like our best draw here, so that we can kill the Nahiri. Discards Triome. If he ever hits like a Bring to Light or a Niv, like the game's probably just over on the spot, honestly. I just had to say something, didn't I? Well, he only gets 2 cards. It's Cloythus and Dreadbore. Dreadbore of our own, please. Alright, let's force him to use his removal spells here. The deck should have only gas by now? Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. It feels like at this point it should be all spells. I mean, we've seen... Oh, man. Yeah, 4, 7, 8, 9 lands and 17 cards. So over half the cards we've drawn have been lands. Is he gonna get Valky out of his deck? Is there a second Valky? I assume there's at least two. Okay, he's just gonna get another Niv. I mean, that's not bad. Like a 6/6 that puts a lot of cards in your hand. Is this gonna be Tolsamir or is this gonna be Bring to Light? Ugh. Ugh. That's not good. Alright, so his last two cards are Dreadbore and Tolsamir. Oh, I clicked on everything but the... I mean... I guess let's Faithless Looting here. So I would like to be able to shock this in here in case I hit something to play, but I just don't think I can. I know I'll hit a Pyromancer. Well, I can actually cast Delver. Well, I don't think Delver's worth it. Yeah, no, we're just going to let it. Delver's definitely not worth it, but... So we know he has a Tolsamir and a Dreadbore in his hand, which means he's just going to kill our Chandra. Yeah, this game's super over. Well, that was the product of drawing like 10 lands. That was pretty unfortunate. I'm not going to lie. I felt like we actually had a pretty decent shot at that game. You know, we knocked a couple of the cards out of their hand early, and then we were really just kind of in the driver's seat there for a minute. Like as long as like if we could have ever hit anything, if we could have ever like even an anticipate or anything would have been awesome just because it would have let us flip our Delver. Um, like flip our Delver and find a new card. Do you like the anticipates? I mean, they seem very medium so far. I've only drawn them once, like a couple times here, but they seem like okay. Um, if there's an instant speed way to look at the top three cards of my library and then put them into my graveyard, I'd much rather be on that plan because it helps fuel Treasure Cruise. I just don't know if there's an instant speed way to do that. I think it's a sorcery, and I think I'd like to have the instant speed interaction, like the ability that Anticipate gives me to interact at instant speed. 0 and 2 is not the start I was looking for from the from Grixis Delver tonight. Our opponent's not there. Sad days are sad. I know I don't like have to restart like the search there, but I always restart the search. It like kind of drives me crazy to not like I don't know, like the matchmaking failed thing. I just don't like that. Oh, I think Consider is a really good addition for this deck. I also think Consider is a really good addition for Izzet Phoenix. I'm trying to think of a card that maybe there should be more of in the deck, more or less of. earlier, before we started playing games, I was saying that maybe I should be playing a 21st land, but the way I've been drawing lands tonight, like, there's no way I'm going to add a land to this deck. I don't know if 3 Treasure Cruise is, like, I feel like maybe 2 is better. I mean, because it feels pretty unlikely that I'll ever get to cast a second one with the rate that I fuel my graveyard, which is not a ton. So I don't know. I think Dive Down's really good in this deck, though. Like, Dive Down seems really sweet so far. Come on. Find us a match. I'm ready to play. Well, I guess we wait impatiently. Every time I look at this list, when I'm looking at it, I always see Delver, Young Pyromancer, and Sedgemoor Witch, and I'm thinking, man, what a clock. Like, what could go wrong? Like, maybe this shouldn't be a Delver list. Like, maybe this should just be, like, Citrus Supplier instead of Delver, and, like, we should just be on, like, 2 or 3 Croxes. And, like, no Treasure Cruise, maybe? I don't know. But then it just kind of, like, I mean, at that point, it just feels like you're just kind of playing Rakdos Pyromancer. Big Red, 505. Kyle, is that you? All right, so we have 2 tapped lands. All right, the mana base has not been our friend this evening. We either have like 7 lands or none, or this is the first time we run into this problem. But I still think it's worth keeping. We have good hand disruption, plus good threats. So, and against Hallowed Fountain, I feel like we want hand disruption. Play Drowned Catacomb, say go. Oh, is it Blue-White Spirits? It is Blue-White Spirits. All right, let's see what you have, opponent. I think it's worth taking the Spell Queller here. Now, sadly, we are going to go to 12, so it's not great, but... Alright, we're just going to slam it and see what happens here. Maybe they drew Spell Queller. Oh, I was like, man, if you drew Spell Queller, like, just end my life. Like, just right now, just get in there. Alright, 2 unknown cards in their hand. Play with Fire feels pretty solid. Play Young Pyromancer. Curious to know what the last 2 cards in their hand are. He goes for drawing a card here. We're just going to hit the Selfless Spirit. Okay, so his hand's not good. We are mounting a little bit of pressure here, so... I guess we can Treasure Cruise next turn, but I don't know, that just... Like, I guess we add more things to the board, but it feels kind of underwhelming if I'm being honest. Watcher of the Spheres is pretty good. Empyrean Eagle is annoyingly good. Port Town, 1 card in hand. We go to 7. We are at 7. Send in with the clowns. And then I guess we can treasure cruise and then die. Yeah, we didn't see any removal. Like the thought seizes were cool because it let us pick apart some of their best cards, but it just didn't matter. We'll leave in 1 just for the heck of it. We do not want Thought Seize. Drown in the Lock seems great. Anticipate seems... I don't feel like Dive Down's that good. What are we dive downing here? Like from Skyclave Apparition maybe? That feels like about the only thing we're really saving dive down from. So do we want to cut an Anticipate or a Treasure Cruise? I think we want to cut the Anticipate and leave in Treasure Cruise here. Like I think that one of Treasure Cruise is really solid. Maybe we want the Chandras too. Maybe we just don't want Anticipate or Treasure Cruise. We just want to be on this like ungodly heavy removal plan. I mean, that's what I do when I play the Rakdos version of this deck. So. This hand is really good. It offers a lot of utility and a lot of options, so we're going to snap this one off. Consider? Yeah, graveyard that. Play Young Peasy and say go. I was like, now he gets to flash in Spectral Sailor, which is fine. And then next turn we have access to 3 removal spells if we need it. Alright, get in the red zone, big fella. Yeah, I'm willing to take 1 here to see what he does. Hit Spectral Sailor. Guess I probably should have used the Magma Spray in reverse order to actually get the exile effect off of this, but I don't know that that'll be super relevant. Why not strategic planning instead of anticipate? Seems better with Treasure Cruise. Yeah, I definitely agree with that statement. It's definitely better. My original thought process was playing it because of I wanted to have access to the instant speed side of it, but I definitely think strategic planning as a 2-of is going to fuel my graveyard a lot better. All right, send him with the 3 tokens here, because if he's willing to trade a Selfless Spirit for a token, then I am in. We're not out of the woods yet here. We could still definitely lose. Does anybody in the chat know, is Ward spell or ability or just a spell? We're just going to get aggressive here. I just want to end the game. Spectral Sailor? Okay. And our opponent only has 1 card in hand, so... Okay. That's pretty good. Granted, I'll give you that. Just instant or sorcery? Okay, that makes more sense. I guess not necessarily that it makes sense, but... Ooh, definitely glad I did not do that. Need to be able to play my Delver. We have 6 points of menace coming across next turn, so kind of feels like we've got this one, short of them having to settle the wreckage here. Which after this one time in a team event, I will literally always play around when I'm playing against Spirits, so... Hey, we get a concession. Alright. Consider wouldn't have been bad. I mean, I guess dive down could have been okay in situations where we wanted to block. Or not block, but where we were trying to attack through, where we could save some of our guys, but I still don't think it's worth it. I think having all the removal we can possibly have is the best way to go. Having Fatal Push into bodies and Magma Spray feels pretty solid. Kind of wish our opponent would mulligan so we wouldn't have had to deal with so much stuff, but... I'm going to wait and hold up Fatal Push here in case our opponent, like, I don't know. Like, if they play Watcher of the Spheres here, Supreme Phantom's pretty solid. I am going to target this thing and force them to use it here. Like, if they're going to get rid of their Mausoleum Wanderer. Still a 1-for-1, which is fine. Just trying to keep their board clear. Like, kind of wish we were on the play so we could have some pressure down, but maybe it was correct to take a turn off there. Not sure. Okay. Pierian Eagle's a good one. We're just going to wait. We're representing Mystical Dispute here, so we're going to see if they go for it or not. Because I'm willing to go to 18 here. So they're just holding up Spell Queller here. We're going to consider and see what they do. I'm a really big fan of this card. I really like Consider. Yeah, put that in the graveyard. Okay. I'm kind of stuck here on what I'd like to do. I think we're going to jam here and see what happens. Because they're representing the heck out of Spell Queller, but they're also kind of representing... We're going to shock it and say go here. I'm going to force them to play to us, not the other way around. This is one of those ones that has to die. I'd much rather kill the Lord here, but this is one of those ones that has to die. Flying Lord is much more relevant, but it's just a situation. Yep, we go to 14 here. Deals 2 damage to target creature. Okay. Now I don't have 3 to pay for miscast, so that resolves. Alright, Chandra as leftovers is not bad. The last time I can remember being in a situation where I had Chandras and leftovers, I was made fun of for months because I punted at an SCG event, so... Feels like we're in a pretty decent spot. Put you to 10. You got 3 cards left. Empyrean Eagle is pretty good. Now, I think he's just dead here, right? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not quite dead. Play that tapped. So, okay. Gonna concede. Alright, cool. Alright. Hey, we actually had a game where we got to not draw like 12 lands and play our spells. It was a pretty good game. Don't get me wrong, our opponent didn't draw great or anything, but that was a pretty solid game. Feel pretty good about that one. And you know, to Cesar, sorry, I don't know how you pronounce that. To Cesar's point, I think that the 2 of strategic planning would be a lot better than anticipate, especially after playing multiple games. I think it would be a lot better. So. Well, we definitely got a mulligan this one. You know, and maybe there's room for a 4th drown in the lock. Maybe we're putting a land back here? Yeah, I'm going to be greedy and put a land back. We can't cast 2 of our spells with the lands we have anyway, so. Oh, is this green-white company? I guess it could be Bant Company. Means playing naked in Portuguese. That's interesting. I did not know that. Yeah, let's Thought Seize before they get something down here. What? What is this card? Enters the battlefield, create Boo, a legendary 1/1 red hamster creature struggling with trample and haste. Target creature you control is based off, it becomes a giant. Interesting. When it enters the enters the battlefield, create 2 green 2/2 green wolf tokens, and then the Nightbound side is enters the battlefield or attacks, create 2 tokens, another target wolf or werewolf you control fights target creature you don't control. Well, I think we're gonna have to take this guy. This feels like an interesting deck to say the least. Winota? Okay, so it's Winota. That makes sense. It's nice to know that Winota got some new toys. I mean, I hate Winota, so I hate that Wizards gave it anything, but it's part of the game, unfortunately. Innkeeper's pretty solid. So they have Goose and this 6/6, which they have a land they can play next turn. So maybe to try and stop them from getting that on the field so fast, we can Delver plus Play with Fire. Or maybe we should just be considering to see if we want to draw a counter spell here. I think we need to put pressure on the board, though. They do pill a land. So we were rewarded with making a less aggressive play, but a good play nonetheless. Yep, we'll go to 15 here. What are we drawing? Drown the Lock. Delver of Secrets isn't exactly what I had in mind. Alright. What cards do we have in our deck that can beat this thing? That can beat that 6/6. Dreadbore in the side, but nothing in the main. Does it have Trample? No, it's just a 6/6, but it makes 2 tokens. So if we can generate enough tokens, we can beat it. Alright, I think I'm willing to try and play that game where we fly over with Delver and make a ton of tokens with Pyromancer. I feel like that has to be our game plan from here. Yep. So he gains some life. We don't know what the last card in his hand is. Yes, we will reveal that. Yes, we will reveal that. And I guess we'll draw it. Let's consider. I guess if we can get enough cards in his graveyard, we can make that work. Plus, it's just a spell at this point, so... Plus, we're at 14. Like, we can take a hit here. We have a pretty decent clock. Oh, I can't even counter that. Man, that sucks. That's tough. That's probably game, honestly. Ugh. Yeah, we're just going to concede here. You should probably kill the elf. You know, actually, now that you're talking about that, it wouldn't have been a bad idea to just go ahead and play with Fire the Elf and make a token. Would have actually shut him off from playing Winota too, so may not have won us the game, but it would have bought us some turns. So yeah, I think you're correct. That would have been a very good play. Good call. Just one of those things I don't think about. Just one of those things I wasn't thinking about. Again, Treasure Cruise seems too slow for this matchup. I feel like I'm saying that almost every matchup. I don't think they play that much removal. We'll leave in one dive down just in case. Thoughtseize seems good. Delver flies over. Actually, I just think we can cut this card and just cut and anticipate and try it this way. Oh, we definitely want Chandra's too. Chandra's a really good one. Kind of cling to dust, I guess. I don't really see us. This hand feels pretty good. We're going to keep this. Wish it had more removal, but we do have a lot of cards to let us see other cards. So we're going to keep this and try to try to dig for some removal spells here. We're just going to go ahead and shock in, actually, because I doubt there'll be a turn where we can't shock that in. We'll be wanting to play a threat or something, so. Plays that tapped. Let's consider. No, do not put that in the graveyard. Play Delver, say go. We have Cling to Dust and Consider here, but we're also representing Fatal Push. You can give up the Witch, put some Arcanist, and use Luris as companion. That's not a bad idea. I think it gives us more options. No, we're going to keep Dreadbore. It's a really good one. Please let us flip Delver. Sulfur Falls, of course. We're probably just never going to be playing spells during their turn because of the Voice of Resurgence. So, yeah, I mean, giving up the Witch and playing Dreadhorde Arcanist is, probably not a bad idea. Well, Archon of Emeria has to go. Sulfur Falls number 2. Fortunately, we don't have the kind of like a Rakdos Arcanist with a blue splash. Yeah, that's kind of what I feel like the deck is turning into the more I play it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that sounds very good to me. Yeah, we're just gonna get aggressive, run all of our threats out here. Archon of Emeria is definitely something to think about for next game because Archon of Emeria is really good. Slams Winota, attacks with Voice of Resurgence. Hits a freaking bomb. Thoughtseize. Yeah, reveal it. What the heck? Now, unfortunately, we only get to play Cling to Dust or Thoughtseize here, not both. I guess we could Cling to Dust one of our own spells and hope to hit an untapped Black Source. I guess all of our lands are untapped. Some require damage and some don't. And hope to hit an untapped, or yeah, hope to hit a Black Source so that we can also play the Thoughtseize and make a bunch of tokens. Because we're not going to be able to kill the Winota. So let's say we Cling to Dust and hit a good removal spell. What good removal spell are we looking for here? Chandra would be good because we could kill the Winota. And Winota just getting to put more cards into play is honestly kind of just bad for us. It's a lot of blue cards in the sideboard. Yeah, I think playing Cling to Dust here and hoping to hit something relevant is probably our best bet. And we make 2 tokens out of the deal, so. Yes, put that into my graveyard. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I guess we're making something happen here. That gives us 6 blockers. That actually ended up not being The next swing is lethal, probably. Yeah, I'm worried about this swing just being lethal. Because if he hits Kenrith, he can just give everything trample. And that's the thing that scares me the most. Because, oh, he whiffed on one Winota trigger. As long as he doesn't hit Kenrith, we're okay. I can even deal with that. His token didn't say indestructible, so I think that's the way we're going. We take some life, we go back to 18, and then hopefully we get to make some more tokens here. Now we have to find a way to beat the Winota, or we're just kind of dead to it. Man. I think this has to be the play, because we can consider and make 3 tokens that block. And honestly, I'm willing to throw the Delver in front of the Archon if we need to. Because killing the Archon plus Voice is just brutal. Yeah, Archon and Voice is insane, honestly. God, he gets so many freaking triggers here. Yeah, we drew 1 removal spell, which is pretty bad. Like, all we did was put in removal spells, and we still only managed to find 1 somehow. Oh, definitely should not have let that trigger resolve. Alright, yeah, that's game. We just never saw Drown in the Loch or anything really, like, I don't know, like, we just never... Like, maybe I shouldn't keep that hand. Maybe keeping, like, maybe keeping, yeah, maybe keeping those 3 draw spells instead of any removal was just bad. Maybe we should have mulliganed. I don't know, but we had 2 threats and we had multiple draw spells. I don't know, that felt pretty okay to me to have it set up that way. Hmm. I don't know. This feels like one of those decks that I will look at every time on paper and go, yeah, it's pretty good, but then when I play it, be like, this is dog crap. I'm also not really good with these decks. Like, this is like, while this is also like definitely like a brew that I put together, it is also one of those times when I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone and not just play mono red aggro or something like that and try to force myself to think about things a little bit. I'm gonna run to the bathroom before this match starts. I'll be right back. Ugh. Of course, while I was gone, I missed it. Most of the time I get lucky enough to make it back in time for that, but oh well. Ugh. I missed out on that match. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Hey, let's go. Alright, hopefully we can get a win here and get like a 2-3. 2-3 is not exactly something I'm proud of, but this is definitely unkeepable. We only have one land. Opponent keeps 7. I mean, this hand's not really great, but put the blood crit back. Keep that. Yeah, that seems okay. Leads on Fabled Passage, okay. Yeah, let's shock in. I think it's worth considering on turn 1. Didn't crack his land. So obviously he's not planning on making a 2-mana play on turn 2. Maybe our opponent kept a landlight hand. Yeah, been that. We don't want another land. Delver's not bad. Sedgemoor, which is pretty good. Guess we'll just run out Delver here. See what happens. Fabled Passage and Island say go like two turns in a row. Like, doesn't really tell me a lot about what they're up to. Like, maybe it's Phoenix. Puts one card on the bottom. They do fetch this time. If they get a mountain, I think it's Phoenix. It's Plains? They play in blue-white control? You gain 2 life, draw 2 cards, and discard 2 cards. Okay. Maybe Cling to Dust is going to be really good this game. It's Jeskai Phoenix. Interesting. That's fine. We're going to eat one of your Phoenixes here, so... We're just going to play Phoenix and then hold up Cling to Dust here so that we can exile their other Arclight Phoenix. I think drawing both these Cling to Dusts in the top 11 cards of our deck has been absolutely insane against this matchup. Jeskai, Arclight Phoenix. I don't know. I'm in. Like Jeskai is my favorite color combo. Jeskai and Grixis are my 2 favorite color combos. Man, if I was my opponent, I'd be heated. Faithful Mending. You know, the funny part is that in Modern, with Manamorphose, somebody might make that a deck. Might be able to make that a deck. Treasure Cruise? Okay. Izzet Charm's not bad. I think the thought of... So we'll attack here. And then I think having pressure is more important than holding up Izzet Charm here. And maybe I'm terribly wrong about that. But that's what feels better to me. And I think a lot of that stems from the fact that I really like to end games quickly. And I do think that sometimes it gets the best of me. It's Faithless Looting, but it's 2 mana, and you gain 2 life. And it's an instant. The fact that it's an instant is really cool, actually. I don't know how often that'll ever really come up, but it is pretty cool. They've already pitched one Anger of the Gods, so as long as it's not just like another one, just like waiting to just like clean up the board here, we're in pretty good shape. But our opponent did shock in, so counter that spell unless you pay 3 life. So I'm going to let that resolve. Because it doesn't do anything. And then I'm going to counter this unless you pay 2, because I really want to keep my Sedgemoor Witch around. There's nothing with haste in our deck, so I'm going to attack for 2. I'm going to Thought Seize them, see what their last card is. That's not a bad one to take. It ended up being pretty good. As long as they don't like pill something just like insanely cracked right here, we're in a pretty good spot. They do have Faithful Mending as backup. Okay. Faithful Mending into Expressive Iterations, not bad. Naya Phoenix? No, it's Jeskai Phoenix. Jeskai's red, white, and blue. Consider as exiled. Alright. I'm gonna say go here. We do have Cling to Dust. Yeah, I misworded. Oh, okay, gotcha, yeah. But yeah, it says Jeskai Phoenix with the new Faithless Looting, which I'm kind of about. That Faithful Mending card seems pretty sweet. Sweltering Suns? Yeah, that's a little unfortunate, but... Alright. Thought Seize Charm. And we have no like real graveyard recursion, so I guess it doesn't really matter what we get rid of. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think blue-black is more important here. Alright. So we have access to Fatal Push if we need it for anything. Drawing 2 more lands there wasn't great. Like, Treasure Cruise was a really good draw step right there. Okay. Like, while we do need to answer Arclight Phoenix, I'm not super worried about that card. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Red, blue. Jesus Christ. Well, was kind of hoping that we would hit a threat there, like what we've seen 2 this game. I apologize, we've seen 3. We've seen 1 of each of our threats so far. Yep, we go to 18. Alright, Thing in the Ice. Not dealing with that card. Feels almost a little counterintuitive to play this, but we're gonna see what they're working with. See if it's anything worth. I mean, I guess they honestly they probably don't. Well, with no cards in hand, I guess the best thing for them to draw here is a Treasure Cruise or an Expressive Iteration. Expressive Iteration seems a great addition to your deck too. Yeah, it does actually. Expressive Iteration feels really good. All right, we're gonna try and make something happen here. Delver coming at you. We go to 10. Something good, please. Alright, no, we don't want to reveal that, but it is a good draw step, so. We are going to slam it. Menace plays a pretty big role. Plus, Ward, pay 3 life is pretty solid here, so. Continues to get busy here. I respect it. We've only seen one Fatal Push. Nope. We continue to not flip Delver and draw poorly. Okay. I mean, that's a damage. Like, if like their last card is like another Anger or Sweltering Suns, there's not much we can do about it here. We're just kind of playing to the fact that maybe they don't manage to kill us this turn. Okay, so even if they have a removal spell, yes, show Treasure Cruise. That's pretty good. We will take that one, my friend. Treasure Cruise, pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so we make a token. We draw 3 cards. We kill this because we don't want to mess with that thing. If they had a counter spell, they would have slammed it on our Treasure Cruise. Like, I was like, if they had anything to do there, they... Whew. Treasure Cruise on top was pretty clutch right there. All right. Torch. Dreadbore. Treasure Cruise is really good. I don't think Anticipate's great. I think Cling to Dust is good. This will be a grindy game, so I don't think we want Thoughtseize, and we need to get rid of 3 more cards. Play with Fire seems very medium. We want Magma Spray because it exiles, not because it deals 2 damage. I mean, it does, like, don't get me wrong, the 2 damage does help us deal with Phoenixes, but... Do you guys think it would be better served to play to cut the 2 Anticipates and the 2 Izzet Charms and play for Expressive Iteration or for Strategic Planning in that spot? I also feel like our deck could benefit from a couple of K commands. Like cut a Treasure Cruise, add a K command. I feel like would play very well. 1 second here. All right. Well, great hand, no lands. We got a mulligan. Our opponent keeps 7. I think this hand's good. We will keep this and put Steam Vents back. And we'll lead on Watery Grave tapped here. I mean, maybe we shock it in. I don't know. They're not a super aggressive deck, so... Yeah, I guess we'll shock it in because we have access to counter magic consider removal here. Like, no matter what they do, we're probably just going to cast consider here. Put into your graveyard. No. Card's really good, and if they ever decide to start like doing stuff, just gonna play that tapped and say go. Yeah, instant speed looting. I love it. Here we go. Put those cards in your graveyard, boy. It really just fuels our drown in the lock. Okay. We will cast Soul Guide Lantern here. Target the Phoenix. We still want them to have cards in their graveyard because if not, drown in the lock is not great. But I think having the Arclight Phoenix gone is more important. I think it's more important than hitting the weird Faithless Looting. I can't remember what it's called. Gotta remember the name of that card. What's it called? Faithful Mending. Okay. We're kind of just playing like reactive the deck here, so. I will too continue to sit here and stare at you, opponent. I don't think it's quite like in control matchups where the person who continues to make land drops is winning, but I do think it benefits us to have to be hitting our land drops. They put Lightning Axe into the graveyard off their consider. Whew. We'll consider now. Yeah, put that in the graveyard. I don't think we want that, honestly. We already have one. And at the rate the game's going, we're not really going to use it for much, so. Cycle Sweltering Suns. Okay. That is the thing that will end up being really good against this deck is sweepers. Like, sweepers will ultimately just be awesome against this deck. So let's see here. If I cast Sedgemoor Witch, I have... I think I'm just going to go for it because I have Mystical Dispute and Drown in the Lock back up here. All board. Counter target spell. Now they have a lot of cards in their hands, so there's a very high chance that we're gonna have to get into like a counter war here over my Sedgemoor Witch. Okay. We're still gonna hold up Mystical Dispute here in case they just decide to go for like a, I don't know if they slam like a Crackling Drake or something. I don't know if they're on Crackling Drake. They are playing basic planes, which is very aggressive in a deck like this, in my opinion. But Treasure Cruise is not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, there's not much we can do about that. So now we're just kind of hanging out until we find another threat. More interaction. Like, you know, honestly, it's fine. I'm not really at a point where I feel like we can have too much interaction or things that we want to do against this deck, so. Put some more card on top, okay. Okay. I mean, I'm just kind of letting him churn through his deck here, like. You may cast Eternal Scourge from exile. Okay. So they've cast Faithful Mending here. Okay. I don't really feel like my point of view when I'm playing weird matchups like matchups like this is that I never want to counter their draw spells. Like there's some part of me here that wants to Chandra's not bad. But we're not really cost 4 and that gives us access to 1 counter spell. Let's do it like this. I think getting Chandra down is good because we have protection. Wow, that resolved. Okay. Consider me a little surprised there. That's not bad, but I think we would rather just keep the. I think we'd rather keep Drown in the Lock open. Like maybe I should have just ate the Arclight Phoenix there. Okay. He's seeing a lot of cards, but he's not doing anything. Again, like I just don't think we want to fight over these cards. Oh, Lord. Opt. Okay. Yeah, buddy. See what we hit. Drown the lock. I don't think there's a reason to play Consider now. We have a Planeswalker, and they have nothing going on, and we have like access to 3 counter spells this turn that we can play, so I think we're just going to keep saying go here. I think we have gotten ahead. Okay. That's another Faithful Mending. Okay. Okay. Did my opponent F6 there? I don't know if I want to kill that or not. Like, it might be a mistake, but I don't think I need to. I think I can just try to go upstairs and just try to close out the game. I don't think it's worth casting that. I mean, we can just consider and make a token here before blocks, so... Getting to counter this and make a token is really good, because if they have Mystical Dispute here, then... I was like, well, probably Mystical Dispute back, honestly. Okay. Human Warlock. Interesting. Didn't even realize Warlock was a creature type, but... Opt? I mean, that's fine. You still have to have 2 more spells here to flip it. Like, maybe we're supposed to Mystical Dispute that? I don't know. Puts 1 card on top. That's not good. Hoo, 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 hoo. Thank you. All right. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. We like to see it. Oh, yeah. Start going upstairs. I have never ulted Chandra before and lost. So there is that. I think this is worth doing now. Wait, whoa. I thought Chandra said whenever you cast a red spell. Whenever you cast a spell. I thought it was whenever you cast a red spell. So alright, Chandra was better than I thought it was in that spot. Didn't even realize that. Well, we had a 2-3 league, which is honestly not a great showing, but it wasn't that bad. So, um, there are a couple takeaways here from this, honestly. Um, Cling to Dust had some value when we played against Phoenix, but other than that, it was just kind of a cantrip for 1 mana. I think we can be on 1 Treasure Cruise. I think those cards, I think those are like the 5 cards that I question if we really want in the deck. Um, I'm thinking here, maybe we just want to, maybe we want to cut those and play 4 expressive iterations. We play 4 expressive iterations, and then I don't know what the last card you play is, honestly. Maybe if, I don't know. So the thing is that you can't play Treasure Cruise and Dreadhorde Arcanist in the same deck because Caesar had made a comment earlier about cutting the Sedgemoor Witch and playing Dreadhorde Arcanist. And then playing Luris as our companion, which doesn't change a lot of our sideboard. The only thing that really changes is Chandra, which, we can play something else. But I don't know. Dreadhorde Arcanist is a good card. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not. It probably plays better with Dive Down as opposed to having to wait until turn 4 and then play it. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you cut the Anticipates the Izzet Charms and play 4 Expressive Iteration, and then maybe you play a 4th Drown in the Lock. I don't know. That's tough. Drown in the Lock was really good, that league. I really like that card. So I don't know. We might make some changes and run it back later this week. So yeah, this was Grixis Delver. If you were here for Magic, I appreciate you stopping by. If you like Dead by Daylight, hang out. We're going to play that in a few minutes. I'll be right back.